Welcome to the Leadership Transition course. In this module, we will continue with the topic on feedback models, and we will be looking specifically at what other models or feedback models you can still find. In previous modules, we talked about different types of feedback models, like the SPI and also the IDEA. And here we just want to talk about other models that you can look at, which are used for feedback. One example is the BUILD model, which stands for behavior, understand, impact, listen, and do differently. So in other words, if you use that model, you have to first describe the behavior, where observations should be used and not judgments. And also understand the context. Make sure that the person you're giving the feedback, the context is understood. And describe the impact. And as a leader, you need to be able to listen. Don't ask why. Just be open. Listen. Make sure the person, you hear out that person. And then later on, you can then ask, what might you do differently? And go into a dialogue. In the same way, you can use another model called HEAR, HEAR, which is a model that is used also in dealing with feedback reactions. So sometimes you give a feedback and you get a reaction, and you may also need to deal with that reaction. So first you hear and articulate the individual's reaction, and then you explore using other languages or any other thing that helps you drives that discussion. For example, what are you thinking right now? What is your reaction about? In the here part, which is the first part, you can do something like, I notice you are quiet or gotten quiet. You seem to have some strong emotions around this. I mean, it's a way you present things that matters. And then in the explore, you can look at things like, what are you thinking? What is your reaction about this? And acknowledge means, validation, to be sure that the other person can come in line with what you just mentioned. And, that helps a lot because you can move to the next level, which is the refocus, where you can talk about, what about the feedback? Do you agree with it? And what can we do to address it? And sometimes between exploring and acknowledging, it can go back and forth. But the good thing about this model is that it deals with reactions from actual feedback, which some models doesn't explicitly say. So you can also utilize this as both a feedback model, but also reacting to feedback as well. So others that you can see is the EPIQ, where we talk about empathy, position, intention, and quality. So you go into a feedback discussion with empathy, noting the emotions, making sure the perspective is clear. You make sure that the position is clear, where you get permission, you look at the power dynamics, like if you're talking to a higher person, you also need to know how to relate to that person, and make sure that you put yourself in a position that you're also not undermining your own feedback. And the intention should be clear. What is the purpose, as well as quality of the feedback that you want to give. And then the other type of feedback model is called PEER, P-E-E-R. And in this case, the first P means you ask for permission. And once that permission is given and it's important from the other person, then that kind of settles the ground for further discussion. And then you can go to the other E, to the first E, which is explain the behavior that you've observed. And then be specific, talk with facts, and mention the actual behavior. And then you go to the other E, which is the effect of that behavior, and you can outline it and discuss it. And finally, you focus on the result with the person, where both of you can look at what the impact is, agree on it, and also create actions. So basically, these are the different other types of feedback model, and you can find a lot more and combine them with other ones as well as with the leadership styles we've discussed. And this explains all the types of models that you can have. There are many more, and brings us to the end of this particular topic. Thank you.